few years ago, Sam Altman made a bet with his friends in the tech world. The question was simple. In what year will the first one-person company reach a $1 billion valuation? At the time, many people laughed. The idea sounded more like science fiction than practical business. Because throughout history, building a company always required a lot of people. You needed programmers, designers, marketing, sales, customer support. Building a real company meant building a real team. At least, that's what the whole world used to believe. But then everything changed. In 2020, this would have required a team of 15 people. In 2026, one teenager with AI can do it from a bedroom. A group of just about 50 people built a multi-billion-dollar company. A founder with 0 employees made over $1 million in a single year. And the dangerous part isn't AI. It's that millions of people still think the old rules apply. For years, people thought ideas were the most valuable thing. But the reality was never like that. Ideas are cheap. What's expensive is the ability to execute. You could come up with the greatest app in the world. But if you don't know how to code, that idea dies. If you don't know marketing, no one will know it exists. Every missing skill means having to hire someone else. Every new person means more salaries, more equity, more management, more pressure. That's why traditional startups always needed a team. But AI doesn't just make things faster. It's beginning to completely replace many roles that used to be mandatory. Picture this: an entire floor of empty office desks. And somewhere else, at 2 a.m. in a tiny apartment, a solo creator is watching lines of code write themselves on the screen. Right now, some college student is probably using AI to finish in 2 hours what would have taken an entire weekend before. And they don't even realize how much the world has changed yet. The strange thing about technological revolutions is that people rarely notice them while they're happening. They still wake up, go to work, reply to emails, and assume the world is basically the same, until one day, suddenly isn't. The moment everything truly shifted wasn't when chatbots appeared, not when AI generated images, but when coding started becoming no longer a barrier. Previously, AI was just like a smart autocomplete. It suggested code, helped fix bugs, made programmers a bit faster, but humans were still the main writers. Then the era of AI coding agents arrived. You no longer have to write every single line of code. You describe the product in plain English, and increasingly, the machine handles the technical complexity for you. Not perfectly, not independently, but far enough to fundamentally change who gets to build. Today, you can start alone. And this is no longer just theory. Somewhere right now, a 19-year-old is building a company from a laptop that would have required 100 employees a decade ago. Productivity per individual is increasing exponentially. One talented person, empowered by AI, can produce the workload that once required an entire department. Now, let's be realistic. The best engineers and designers in the world will still outperform AI in many areas. But for millions of people, AI dramatically lowers the barrier to entry. And this is the part many people don't understand. AI doesn't just change the tools. It changes the math of building a business. Costs plummet. Speed skyrockets. Barriers collapse. In the past, building an app took 1 year. Now, a single weekend is enough to launch an MVP. In the past, competitors needed months to copy you. Now, they only need a few days. The scariest part? Your competitors are already using these tools. That's why knowing how to build is no longer the greatest advantage. The new advantage is knowing how to build exactly what people truly need. And that is where most people fail. They get so excited about the technology, they rush to build immediately. But the question was never, can you build it? The question is anyone willing to pay for it? In the age of AI, bad ideas will die even faster than before. Because now, Everyone has the ability to create products, so the market won't lack apps. What's rare is an app that solves a real problem. Therefore, before you build anything, do this. Research. Find out who is solving that problem, how much they charge, what customers are complaining about, what gap no one has filled well. Then, let AI challenge your own idea. Don't use AI just to get it to agree with you. Ask it, tear this idea apart. Find the loopholes. Find the weaknesses. Find the reasons customers won't buy. Because if AI can spot the flaws in minutes, competitors out there will see the exact same thing. Most people are using AI to save time, but a rare few are starting to use AI to clone their own capabilities. You don't need deep coding knowledge. You need to know what you want to build. You no longer have to be the builder. You become the architect. AI doesn't completely replace humans. It amplifies those who know how to direct it. However, this is also where many make a mistake. They treat AI like a magic wand. They think they just need to type, "Create $1 million startup for me," and magic will happen. No, AI is incredibly powerful, but it still needs a guide. You have to check every step. You have to evaluate the logic. Otherwise, you will build very fast product nobody wants to use. Treat AI like a junior developer with limitless energy. It works incredibly fast, never gets tired, never complains. But you are still the one deciding the direction. You are the one who understands the customer. You bear the ultimate responsibility. AI is not replacing human ambition. It's compressing the distance between an idea and execution. For most of history, human ambition was limited by coordination. AI changes that equation. Imagine a founder refreshing their screen, watching the revenue dashboard climb. For the first time, a single person can move at the speed that once required an organization. And that changes the balance of power completely. That's why the era of the one-person company is no longer a fantasy. The internet is becoming unbearably noisy. Millions of people can now create, which means attention becomes even more valuable. The winner isn't the one who builds the fastest. It's the one who reaches the right people the fastest. That's why marketing is shifting drastically. But there is one thing AI cannot fully replace yet: true human empathy. You can use AI to generate 100 articles. But if you don't understand what the customer truly cares about, those 100 articles are still useless. AI accelerates execution. Humans still determine the direction. And this is where the game gets incredibly exciting. For the first time in history, an ordinary individual has access to power that once belonged only to megacorporations. That is absolutely astonishing, but also extremely dangerous. When the barriers disappear, competition will explode. Millions of people will start building products. And in that ocean of competition, what makes you stand out is no longer knowing how to use AI. Sooner or later, everyone will know. The people who adapt first won't just move faster. They'll make entire industries obsolete. AI doesn't kill human value. It exposes the gap between those who know how to develop themselves and those who stand still. History is always like this. New technology doesn't just create new tools. It creates new winners. The internet created Google. The smartphone created Uber. Social media created TikTok. And AI will create the next generation of businesses. Most technological shifts feel obvious in hindsight, but while they're happening, life still feels normal. People still go to work, still make plans, still assume the systems around them are permanent, right up until they aren't. The strange part is that future generations may look back at this era the same way we look back at the early internet, a moment when the world changed quietly before most people understood what was happening. Maybe the most important change isn't that AI can write code. Maybe it's that humanity is entering an era where a single individual can suddenly have the leverage of an entire institution. and history has never really seen that before. The future may belong to the people who learn how to direct intelligence, instead of only competing with it.